Now, sinkholes are continuing to open in Katlehong, and residents say they fear for their lives. Several families in Panga and Skosani sections have been moved, but others have accused the government of dragging its feet on plans to relocate them. Manqoba Mchunu is covering that story and joins us yet again. Manqoba, we understand you are now with Ugogo, whose property is quite compromised from these sinkholes. Just talk to us about this.
Well, certainly, Mfundo, and in fact, this is another part of Katlehong that has also been badly affected as far as sinkholes are concerned. And I'm just going to step out of shot just to show you, Mfundo, just how bad the situation is here. We've seen quite a number of houses here in Skosana that are literally on the brink of collapse. And this here stays, and you can see that there are cracks on the wall, but just not cracks. We can actually see some parts of the house starting to cave in. We understand that this has been happening for the past few months. I'm just going to step inside just to show you inside, Mfundo, what it's like inside this particular house. And as you see, Mfundo, as we walk in, I mean, you are greeted by these large cracks here on the walls. And that just tells you how bad the situation is here. And Ukoko, of course, has been saying that you know, there have been plans to move them. In fact, she says she was at another section. But what has been difficult for them is the fact that that particular house that they've been moved to is very small. And also some of the children that go to school are going to schools here. No provisions have been made for that. And I can tell you, Mfundo, that the whole house is just in a dire situation. And you go to the bedrooms, you go to the sitting room, there are cracks on the wall. Ukoko telling us that, you know, she doesn't even sleep anymore because of this situation. Perhaps let me just bring her in herself, Mfundo, just so that you can hear from her how bad the situation is. If I can just ask you, Gutike, sinjani simo koko la njengamanje?
Siyabheda njengoba nanini vele ngawa. Siyabheda wona akukho mnandi. Sadele kwathi kuhlele nje evalweni nje nanini.
Gogo mawukuthi mhlambe ke niyayibuza ukuthi kwenzakalani ngale ndaba kuthiwani kunini?
Hey. Yazi asiyasiza ukuthiwani thina. Bakule kwathi bazalungisa. Manje asazi nini. Baloke bathi bazawubona bazolungisa. Mara abasho ukuthi nini kanjani uyabasho njalo bathi sizobona ukuthi silungisa nini.
So kagogo kuba njani la ebusuku malini izulu noma nje nekubona mhlawumbe ukunyakaza nje noma kwenzakalani?
Kungena umoya nje lana nje kungena nje umoya la. And then iminyango lona uvule uphonsekele uvule umnyango uphonsekeleni. Amapastora vele nawo yakhala ke vele baka njengoba saqindezule mama intindizi khalela mapha athi kadubula kunyakazela amapastela awutholakala ukuthi kwenze kanje la endlini yindlu nje
into ekhathaza kakhulu gogo mhlawumbe oyisabelayo nakho mhlawumbe usaba ukuthi ngelinye ilanga lendlu yo
engiyasaba mani ukuthi vele izokuwa shema ngifuna uphosisa kona nje ngihlala ngisebalweni sebusuku semina ngilele vele ngihlala ukuthi nanini vele ngawa kodwa imali ingabulala abantu bangapha esayidini nalabo abantwana abangenayo ngapha bayephathisini izowela ngapha nangapha phambili
kade usho kumina ngaphambilini ukuthi uye uze usho ukuthi ngcono iwe ebusuku.
Ngibala ukuthi ngcono ukuthi iwe ebusuku kakhulu abantu balele nje banyangawa emini abantu bayahamba ngale ngaphene store izobalimaza manje kungcono ukuthi nayi ngabe ebusuku ngapha abantu akho bantu lapha njengangapha phambili akho umuntu la bangale bonke phambili ngani manje angeke izawa nje ngalimaza umuntu.
Manje uthini kumasipala manikhuluma nawo gogo?
Hey umasipala amnangazi nje abantu lapha eofficeini bokunyaya nje lo bathi plan ngumthola ngiyaka 3 angimtholi sengingahlala phansi ngayekela.
Uyagive up manje ulahla ithemba?
Sengilahla ithemba sengiyobona ngaba days abathanda.
Okay. Alright, mabungitshela ukuthi nakhona awufuni ukuhamba la ngoba ukhulele la kuleli khaya nakhona ufuna la ufuna ukuphumela khona makuthi nawe uyahamba emhlabeni.
Hayi angithanda ukuthi ngahlala kwenye indawo Nkosi yami yazi angithandi njengoba ubaba lekhaya wambelela nami bengifuna ukuphumela ndawo lekhaya.
bafika kodwa la ukuthi bafika abaningi bezobheka isimo kodwa bazi babuyele kunini.
Hayi cha bafikile ngifuna uphosisa. Bafikile akekho umuntu ongafiki angikhona khona le park la bangibeke khona. Lo mntana wathi mama woza uzobona ngathi nangehle taxini imoto ze over 20. Baze bahamba ngekhumbi yabanye. Ngithi mina mhlambe khona into ezowenzeka. Namhlanje kusasenjalo. Enabathi hleze bafika. Akupheli 2 months bangakafiki abanye mhlambe bafike babe 3. Bathi nihlelini yayinto zemala yini. Mhlambe kufike 2 mhlambe kufika abantu. Lo moya wafika ngicala nokumbona kubaba nje omuya ngimazi. Kodwa siyazi asazi ukuthi bathini. Bayafika bazobona nje. Eh.
Siyabonga mama ukukhuluma nathi. Well, you can just hear Mfundo the sense of desperation here from Ugogo, who says that she fears for her life. She says that, you know, she's been staying here waiting for some sort of intervention. They do come here, some teams from the city often, but nothing has happened. And she says that, you know, her biggest fear is that one of these days this house will collapse. She says it will be better if it happens at night because not many people will be injured if that happens at night. But you can tell her sense of desperation, Fundo, here from these residents. She says that she's had no choice but to stay here and wait, hoping that they will come to her rescue soon. We are going to still speak to the city just to get a sense of what it is that they're doing, because residents here are telling us that this is not starting now, Mfundo. It's an issue that has been going on for several years. And you heard Ukoko here just saying that, you know, the only thing that she hopes for is that this situation is fixed. She says that at night, when they sleep, when there's wind here, they can feel the rumble of the windows. They can also, when it rains here, they can, you know, feel the water coming into this house. So she says that anything could happen. They're just hoping for some sort of intervention.
No, let's hope the intervention will be timelessly, because the house is looking very, very bad. And what I get from that particular interview is that here there's a situation where you have relocation taking place in isolation, where there's no consideration made of the children and their schooling. Will there be the amenities that they were used to on this other side? Because that on its own would be a problem, where there would be a cost now possibly to the family if the children are still to come back and continue in the school in that particular location if Ukoko is moved.
Indeed, Vundo. And in fact, Gogo saying that, you know, one of the things that, you know, has made her to stay here is the fact that this is our family home. This is where they grew up. And so they were really hoping, Fundo, that there will be some sort of intervention. And she's saying that, you know, even when she dies herself, she wants, you know, to be a funeral service to be held here, because this is what she's known. This is where she was born. So there's a attachment to this particular area. But in terms of answers, Fundo, they're saying that they're not getting those answers. They don't know what's happening. Ukoko says that from time to time, she does go to the other house where she was relocated, but it's difficult because this has meant that the family has now been, you know, separated in terms of living. That house is not big enough as well for them to stay as a family. And of course, she says that she cannot sleep there, knowing that her children are living in this house, in this, you know, state where this house could collapse anytime soon. So it's really a dire situation that they're facing. And of course, they are hoping that, you know, they will finally know what's going to happen to them, because she says the house that they're relocating to her is not even a house that she can call home, because it's owned by other people. So that's a calamity, and the situation that they find themselves in, having to live in a house that they say is really at this particular point on the brink of collapse.